Hello and welcome to Weaving the Magic. My name is Kelly. I am an intuitive astrologer, tarot reader, and wisdom weaver, and you are joining me today on my series on basic astrology, learning how to read your natal chart, understanding the layers of storytelling available to you through the lens of astrology. This part of the series is focusing on getting to know the planets, the archetypes that they are, who they are, and how they show up in your chart, so that you can better understand yourself, things that motivate you, and how you are put together as a human. Today I will start this series on speaking about the sun. The sun is a luminary. I will go back and forth between calling it a luminary and a planet because technically it's not a planet, but it is a very large placement within the astrology chart. I'm going to rope in two other positions today to explain what the sun is and how it shows up in our chart and what it is, what it represents. Because in astrology, if you start talking to people in astrology communities or sharing your astrological information with others, most people will ask you about your big three. The big three are like the main pillars or components of your astrology chart. They can give you a very good overall flavor of who you are, how you function, what you feel like, and how you make your way through the world. So I want to rope two other of the big three in with the sun to describe more of what the sun is. So the first one is the rising sign. I like to call this, when I'm reading someone's chart, the soul flavor. In terms of energy or aura, when you walk into a room, the rising sign is what people feel you as, where the sun is what people see you as. The sun is a luminary. This is what is illuminated. This is what is shining. This is what is visible to us. So viewing a person through the lens of your sun sign, it's how you are seen. The rising sign is how you are felt. The moon sign is how you feel on the inside. The moon has that ability to go dark, right? As it cycles through its phases and we come to a new moon, the moon is dark, it's hidden, it's not illuminated, it's the inner feelings. Where the sun is always out somewhere in the world. It's always shining. So this part has always got a spotlight on it. These things can be clearly seen about you. They can be clearly perceived about you. They can be understood. The rising sign can be felt, and the moon, it's up to you to allow yourself to be felt or feel into yourself. So our solar system revolves around the sun. The rest of the planets in your chart revolve and get their fire from the sun. They source their life from the sun. The sun is about the creative principle. It's about the spark of life, the fire of life, the creative fire within us. It's the spark of consciousness that ignites our existence as a human being. Your sun sign is determined by where the sun was in which sign of the zodiac. It takes about 30 days to get through from one sign to another. Our Gregorian calendar does not perfectly align with the actual universe in the way that it works. So I say about a month to get through each sign in the zodiac. And this is the most overgeneralized and misunderstood part about astrology. The sun sign is that one component that most people think they understand, and what the computerized horoscopes are distributed on is if you're this sun, this is what's happening for you now. Very, very overgeneralized. I'm not saying there isn't any relevance or truth to it. However, it's too overgeneralized to compensate for you could be born the day after someone, both be Virgo sun, and in that switch of a day, the moon has changed into another position. So you're Virgo sun and you've got a Virgo moon, bless your poor soul. And I am a Virgo sun, but I've got a Libra moon. That's an entirely different person. Those are two entirely different people because the other planets are not exactly the same. Maybe even those planets are in different houses based on where. I'll get more into other signs, other planets, other placements in different parts of the series, but today I want to keep this focused on the sun. So that part being the part that most people are aware of, the sun sign, um, allows a lot of people to dismiss astrology unfairly because of that overgeneralization. So part of this series is aimed at breaking down and dismissing that overgeneralization and really starting to show how all of us are such unique individuals, even if we've got the same sun sign. We're not the same person. We're going to have differences. But looking at that part that's illuminated, understanding what that means for how we have built in filters of perception, because again, the sun illuminates. My sun is in Virgo. That means for me, it highlights my perception through a Virgo lens. Just a small bit so you get what I'm saying here. Virgo is a very practical sign. It's very analytical. It's an earth sign that's able to see all these details and really observe all the parts and pieces and put things where they belong. At low end, it is anxious and worried, trying to perfect everything. At high end, it understands that all things have their place, and even if I can't see it, it's perfect already. So where your sun is in your chart creates a sort of perceptive filter for how everything else in your world is illuminated to you. It also talks about, again, that creative principle. What does my creation feel like, seem like, express as? The sun is a very expressive energy. It's a life-giving energy. So my sun being in Virgo lends this energy of that wanting to organize and understand everything to the entire rest of my personality and chart. I call my channel Weaving the Magic. That's the name of my service as well. And this relates so deeply with my Virgo sun because I see all of the little threads of story tales or of storytelling, of layers of understanding, different perceptions, and I like to envision weaving them together in tandem with the universe, co-creation with the universe, God, love, whatever you express it as, the great mystery. I like to see myself weaving with the universe, seeing that perfect order come into place. Even when I can't divine it for myself, I know that I am co-creating with the universe and that all of those little parts and pieces are going to be woven in perfectly. So wherever the sun is, whatever sign it is in, this is the piece of you that is illuminated most. This is the part of you that people see. This is also the way that you see outward into the world. It's basically like a beautiful, bright, filtered light. It's like, what's that analogy about rose-colored glasses? Well, if you are an air element sun, perhaps your filter has a little more of a yellow hue to it and a little more mental energy, a little more of a breeziness or open-mindedness, curious by nature or desire to be curious in general, to figure things out, to intellectualize things. If your sun is an earth sign, you may see the groundedness. You may be able to look through a perception of bringing things down to earth, making tangible what you see. Perhaps you desire to create in a way where you can hold this in your hands. If your sun sign is in a water element, your emotions may pretty heavily influence the way that you perceive and understand reality. And people may see you to be deeply emotional or soft and flowy, or I just want to move like this. If your sun is in fire, that's fire and fire. This can be very intense. This can be really energetic. This can be a very lively lens through which to view the world. Again, as I get later into my series about signs, I'll talk about the high end and the low end of each of those signs individually. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a flavor so that you could take a look at your sign and understand how the sun's energy works within that element, to give you just a little bit to start helping yourself tell your own story of what it feels like to you. So if you haven't already, pull your astrology chart, take a look at where the sun is in that chart, at what sign it's in, determine what element that is, and kind of just feel into imagining the sun shining on that element. Is the sun easily permeating through the air? Is it inflaming those sparks of a fire sign element? Is it really adding nurture to the earth? Or is it warming up that water, allowing it to get more energy in life? Again, the way that I feel, see, understand, and explain astrology is deeply emotional to me. It's a many layered effort of storytelling, and there are many more components to come. So I hope you have subscribed to my channel already. If you haven't, please do that now. I appreciate you clicking like and sharing this with your friends if you'd like them to journey along with you as you get to know yourself and others through this beautiful, amazing, deep, personal, spiritual lens of astrology. Thank you so much for watching my video, and be on the lookout for the next in the series. Mwah. Take care.